Tonight, more new evidence pouring out of Florida. We finally learn why cops doubted George Zimmerman's story. Shane Velez-Mitchell back with you live. What you're going to see right now is a just-released video documenting Zimmerman's injuries on February 27th. That is the day after he shot and killed unarmed teen Trayvon Martin. These wounds are crucial because they help to prove or disprove Zimmerman's claim that he acted in self-defense. Also, for the first time, we are hearing George Zimmerman talking about his injuries in detail. Listen to this.
I have a broken nose. She said I could use stitches, but she'd rather not put them in as long as I didn't mess with my head because the skin was already healing nicely.
The mountain of new evidence released today includes the official police report where cops seem to blame Zimmerman, saying this whole tragic event could have been avoided. It reads, quote, Zimmerman had at least 2 opportunities to speak with Trayvon in order to defuse the circumstances surrounding their encounter, end quote. All right, that's bad news for George Zimmerman. On the positive side for Zimmerman, you might say, Zimmerman was given a lie detector test. Watch this key exchange between Zimmerman and the cops.
Is this the month of February?
Yes.
Were you in fear for your life when you shot the guy?
Yes.
Now, tests showed that the, quote, examinee has told substantially the complete truth. In other words, according to that report from cops, Zimmerman was truthful when he said that he was in fear for his life. So who do you believe? Call me, 1-877-JVM says, 1-877-586-7297. Straight out to Mark Eiglarsh, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor. You're in Miami. What does this new batch of evidence tell you, Mark?
Well, nothing has changed since the last batch of evidence. What we've got is we've got injury to the back of his head. We've got a broken nose. Let's start there because that doesn't lie. No matter how you feel about this, that doesn't lie. It wasn't self-inflicted. It was there when the cops got there. So he gives a version of events. This latest batch of evidence tells us that it wasn't inconsistent with his story. In other words, they can't say that he was lying. They can't necessarily prove what he's saying is truthful, but the fact that they can't negate what he's saying means in a court of law, not necessarily the court of public opinion, where everybody's right regardless of what they have to say. In a court of law, that should equal an acquittal, unless there's more evidence to contradict his version of events.
Well, we are also joined tonight by someone who I think probably will disagree with you, Daryl Parks, Trayvon Martin's family attorney. Thank you for joining us, sir. What does this new batch of evidence tell you?
I have to respectfully disagree with the other gentleman. It's rather clear to us that based on what the investigators talk about the next day, they said that the alleged injuries that Mr. Zimmerman said were life-threatening had cleared up. So the severity that he had claimed earlier just wasn't there.
Well, to that point, George Zimmerman refused to go to the hospital the night he shot Trayvon Martin dead. So who treated his injuries? Watch this. It's fascinating.
No, he was just focused on my head. There's the little bruising there that I saw in the mirror. There's a cut
it's
here.
Like the swelling went down because I remember yesterday. I remember seeing swelling around right here, and I don't see it now.
And my wife is an RN student, so she went to work.
Okay, so he's saying his wife Shelley. There you see her from her mugshot. His wife Shelley treated his wounds because she apparently had some training.